passionate about Cleveland sports.
He's going in, touchdown!
Browns, Indians, Cavs, the Big Ten, and more.
Cleveland is a city of champions once again!
Andy and Jarid, Cleveland and beyond.
A swing and a drive! To deep right!
Here are your hosts, Andy Billman and Jared Foster.
Yo, and we're live on Facebook and Twitter. Hello and welcome. Andy and Jared, Cleveland and beyond. He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson, and this podcast is brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out. Original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hopefully you have a wonderful turkey day with you and your family. We hope everyone celebrates and enjoys this wonderful weekend coming up. Lots going on in the sports world to keep you busy also throughout Thanksgiving and through the weekend. Well, the Browns made it 3 in a row. 3! Can you freaking believe it? After only having 2 wins to begin with here with the season at 2-6. Now they've got 3 straight after beating those Fishies by 17, scoring 41 points. The offense exploded. But even with that big victory, 1, it was to be expected. 2, if it didn't happen, we'd have been mad. And 3, you know what? We've already moved on because we all knew what was next, and it's this game coming up against Pennsylvania, the rematch in corn syrup-filled poison ketchup field over there in that city with those rivers around it. The rivalry is back, brother. I am sporting my GV Art and Design Pittsburgh started it t-shirts. I have no regrets. While I do not encourage swinging effigies around and hitting them with bats, nor putting nooses around necks, I do believe in the importance of the rivalry coming back. And I also like pointing out the facts, which, of course, I'm wearing proudly on my shirt right now. Pittsburgh started it. Hey, we also want to jump in and talk about the other big rivalry game coming up on Saturday. We all know what it is. It's the Ohio State Buckeyes against that team up north. No revenge this year. I don't know. They're going to try for it. I'm not seeing it happen. Penn State, I had to keep my eyes on that game more than I thought I would have to. Chase Young, though, made his presence felt, and can't wait to see him up in Ann Arbor. It's going to be fun. Finally, the Cavs snap a losing skid there. Well, streak, that'll work too. Yep. With a victory over the Blazers and almost make it 2 in a row, but they lose in the last-second shot by the Nets at home. Bummer. But first, you're streaking. Everybody go streaking. Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there and to people who are driving like myself. Hopefully everybody will be safe, and hopefully the kids will have enough sugar in the car to get them through, as Jared likes to say, Pennsylvania. Those 10 hours really fly when you're driving in a car from Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, flies right by. With the kids,
by.
Yeah. Well, that's why, just full disclosure, we're squeezing this in during my lunch break at work to make sure that we get this podcast done, because otherwise we're not going to be able to do it. So
I should get right to it. No more preambles. Look, Freddie gets a lot of dumped on in this year, which he's earned. So he deserves praise when he does well. He had the team ready to go on Sunday. Jared did a really nice job after all that experiences. We will relive again a little bit later in the show with Myles Garrett. But he did a nice job getting the team ready to go. They went up 28 very quickly in this game. That really put enough pad. We all knew at that point. This was the first game all year where it's like, even the Jets game felt that way too, but this game even more so. It's like, we got this. No matter what's going on in this game, it really was never in doubt. Some sloppiness here and there for sure. But, for the first time since the Ravens game, the weapons opened up. We showed off our speed. Our talent really came through in this game. Joe Schobert had another big game as he's on his way to big things this year. And, I know there's still some things that we'll get to too. Freddie being too cute with play calls. I have no idea why you're fucking throwing the ball across the middle in the fourth quarter, but okay, whatever. We win the game. It is what it is. But, it really was, as you did in the open, it's pivoting quickly to the Steeler game. But I do want to go back quickly to the Dolphin game. It was nice to see, I would call it an offense explosion. I really thought in this game, Baker had his moments again later in the game, which I'll get to, but, he was sharp. He, for the first time, looked like Baker Mayfield from last year. Comfortable in the pocket. He didn't look rushed in this game. He really had some really nice touches. He got nicked here and there a little bit towards the end of the game getting hit, but really was never really put pressured on. He did a nice job of rolling out comfortably and making plays on the run. And the one thing that I liked about this game is, Tony Grossi, give him kudos. He was the one who came out with the stat. Over 60% of completions after this game. His touchdowns are finally more than his interceptions, and his passer rating is now finally over 80. So Baker's kind of turned a corner. It's been slow. It's been a slow build for this team. Slow build for Baker too, but I thought he played well. The only thing, Jared, that I'm going to bring up, as the game goes on, his accuracy numbers go down. Yeah. And it's been consistent this year. So it's not like this is just a one-off. You can go through any of these games, really aside from the Bills game. As the game goes on, he has a hard time making completions.
Well, we talked about this last night, and what I haven't been able to look at yet is, and I don't remember, I think it was Cody from over at WFNY posted some stats regarding Baker and the usefulness of play action, which we talk about all the time. There's no reason to not have Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt on the field.
Yep.
Yeah, there are still times when the Browns do it. I would like to also look over, because one of my breakdowns of that, without really double checking and looking, was that we're not running the ball later on in the game as much as we should be.
Yeah,
and that becomes a problem where we should be relying more on that run, which would make it would open things back up again for Baker, whether he's tired or not. I don't, that might be a part of it as well. And then the other issue is, even if it's not simple play action, because right now with Baker and play action, his QB rating was like 115.
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, it just changes things. And we talk about this like until we're blue in the face. Like, I just don't understand why there is this effort. I mean, is it this idea that Freddie is developing Baker's arm and defensive? I mean, I don't know why I mean, like, what is it that is preventing the focus on the run game? Is it because the argument that Freddie might be able to make is he can go, look, I've got one of the top backs in the league with more carries than there's things to be argued. It just feels like Freddie doesn't run when he should be running, point blank, period. That's what it comes down to. Now, whether Baker's tired, that might be a part of it. But when you're putting everything on his arm in the second half of a game where you don't really need to be doing that, then you're risking things. And that's what I think we're running into.
I just think he's still being too cute. Like, again, well, actually, since we're already there, let's go on to Freddie first. Freddie had a better game. He still has a ways to go. There's still things he needs to improve. But again, and you mentioned it, in the fourth quarter with about, the game's in hand. Why is Baker throwing the ball across the middle against a team where that they're tired? Like, run the ball, get out of here. And by the way, after that interception, which was called back because of a penalty, Chubb took the ball in the end zone. I mean, it just makes too much sense at times. There's also a series in the fourth quarter at the beginning of the fourth where Chubb came out of the game and he was out for 6 consecutive plays. I mean, Chubb needs to be in these games late.
What is that? What is that?
That makes
Does Freddie not realize he's not on the field? Like, I honest to God don't know. I hate not having answers. I hate not having answers. And I'm never going to get these answers. I'm never going to get the answers.
I took note of it because as soon as he came out of the games, they profiled him on television. It's like, okay, well, Chubb's out. And obviously the producer, who was smart enough, goes, that's kind of crazy. Okay, he's out of the game. Let's profile him. He never came back in that series.
Oh,
they kicked the field goal.
I have a feeling that it is whoever is doing color for these games, for any Browns game, a part of what they're prepping is recognizing when Freddie doesn't have these guys in the game, because they call him out every time. They call him out on the silliness all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, now to the positive of Freddie, the play calling itself was very 50-50 run to pass. 34 passing attempts, 32 rushes. So that argument is not on this show. He did a nice job. And you felt it during the game. It wasn't just forced. You felt the equalness in the game. In fact, when the Browns were moving the ball in the first half, guess what they were doing? They were running the ball more. They were actually going to the running game. I just want to point out these simple things. And again, I want to give him credit. He did that, and they established that. I don't know why he went back to his bag of tricks in the second half, but okay. First half, he did a nice job. And again, the one thing that I want to point out one last time, with all the stuff that was going on with Myles Garrett and the suspensions and all these headlines, Freddie did, and I thought he would. He had his team ready to go and ready to roll, and that is a credit to Kitchens. He did the job. He had his team ready to go, and he had to, and that wasn't the easiest of jobs.
No, it wasn't. And it's part one of part two in my mind of are they going to keep it together is really what it comes down to, because they're lucky that it was Miami that they were facing after all this happened. They're lucky that that's how the schedule worked out.
Well,
Fine,
we talked about that. It was a perfect time to play the Dolphins. Perfect.
And at the same time, you knew, I mean, with this Dolphins, this is the first box checked of, does Freddie have control over this team right now in regard to their composure and coming back after something like this? Part two is one hell of an opportunity to regain faith. And that is to be able to walk into garbage, poison, corn syrup, ketchup stadium and win in an environment on the road against a fan base that is going to be out for a lot of things.
Yeah. And by the way, I understand that portion of
and with another quarterback, which we all know that, I'm sorry, but I will never be the guy. I just won't be. I've experienced it too often with the Cleveland Browns. I will never be the guy that goes, oh, it's the backup. The Browns will be okay. Or even better yet, oh, it's the third string quarterback. The Browns will be okay. I've learned my lesson enough times in life to not take any of that for granted.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Tom,
because I don't know how much film there is on Duck. I don't know how much film there is on Duck. But you might got to worry about Duck. You know, you might have to worry about some things.
And by the way, not Duck Phillips from Mad Men. This is actually a Duck that's going to be playing in the game.
Hughes? It's Hughes, right? Duck Hughes?
Duck Hughes. Hodges.
Duck Hodges. Whatever.
Look, back to Freddie real quick, because this is one of the first questions I wanted to ask and talk about. Has Freddie done enough to maybe turn this and save his job? Because as I mentioned last week, I thought this was an opportunity for him to save his job. I think this game is everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah, exactly.
If he wins this game, I think his job is safe. Even if they lose out, which they won't, I think they'll be okay. I think this game is everything against Pittsburgh on Sunday. Everything. And I actually think it's the opposite, too. I think if he loses, I think it's going to be hard for him to grasp this team back. I really do. I think
the only loss that you can get away with, there's only two losses that I think you can get away with in these last games and walk away feeling okay. And that's Arizona, which is a catch game to me, and the Ratbirds.
Yep.
Those two games I can understand. I mean, what we're talking about here, Andy, and we talked about this too last night, this is going to be the first time there's so many firsts going on right now. If the Browns can beat Pittsburgh and win both, I don't know when the last time they did that was.
It's been a long time.
When's the last time that they've had a winning record in the division? When's the last time that they swept two teams in the division in a single year? There's a lot of things that we have not seen regarding in-division play, which is always going to be at the core of what we need to take care of first, that will make me feel a lot better at the end of this season, no matter what the outcome is regarding the playoffs. But you've got to take care of business in Pennsylvania first.
They had a winning record in division last year and went 3-2-1. So they had a winning record.
Record.
So they checked that box. I think what it comes down to Freddie, though, and I'm not going to go too hard on this, as I want to see what happens. I am still not pro Freddie. I still don't think he is to where this team should be. I think he has brought down this team's level of play. Now, I think he did better last week, and I see some improvements. But I'm still not in, hey, I think we should bring Freddie back. I think he should go. I really want to see what happens against the Steelers, and ask me again, because I could change my mind after the Steelers game. But I'm glad to see his improvement, and he's steadily improving. Now, back to the offense real quick. Landry had a big game. Beckham had a big game. Chubb did his thing. He's on his way to a Pro Bowl. I think Landry's on his way to a Pro Bowl. Hunt also had a decent game. He scored his first touchdown. The offensive line, I thought, did better in this game. They did a nice job. Baker took some shots, but it really wasn't – it was the first time the offensive line didn't jump out on the screen with you playing badly. So I thought offense all the way around really, really had a good day. I actually think this offense can still get better. And I still think this offense has a long ways to go, which is weird.
I mean, they'll go how many series not scoring? I mean, there's plenty of room to grow, because there's just so much talent that I know it's not realistic, but you should be scoring on every possession.
Well, no, Jared, here's the one thing that came to mind. Watching the Ravens, why don't the Browns run the ball more than they pass? After watching that game and seeing what they can do, the Browns have the backs to do this. I would offer, and I'm going to hit this harder every week, I want to see actually the Browns. It's 50-50 now. I'll take it. By the way, I'll take it. It was more 70-30 2 weeks ago, so I'll take 50-50. Jared, I actually think it should be 60-40 run. I think they should be running the ball 60% of the time and passing 40. And I actually think it would actually help Baker grow and become a better player. I think it will actually make this team more versatile.
Well, this whole idea of, even though it was balanced, this whole idea of passing or looking downfield on first down all the time is obnoxious.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you're then setting up. You then want to run the ball. Okay, then you run the ball. Then you've got 3 or 4. Okay, well then you still got a 3rd and 6, a 3rd and 7. That's not the best position to be putting Baker in, and that seems to be the rhythm of the play calling.
Yes,
with Freddie, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
Where even though it was balanced, it's the timing of these calls. Why are you not running more on first down? Well,
right. And again, later in the game when you're ahead, run. Don't be stupid. Run the ball. Honestly, don't. He's overthinking this. Again, they won, but that pass across the middle in the fourth quarter, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. I'm not going to go haywire crazy today, but that's unacceptable. That stuff has to stop. The defense, too, needs to get some plugs in this game. Schobert, there's 2 players in the Browns. If they don't make the Pro Bowl, I will be shocked. Like, I would lose money on my house. Kind of shocked. Schobert and Chubb are on their way to the Pro Bowl. Schobert had another 2 interceptions. He's making plays all over the field. Ward also should make the Pro Bowl. I don't think it's a guarantee yet, but Ward is also playing great. He is such a lockdown corner again. It's disgusting. He tipped the ball in one play. It almost made an interception. It was a wonderful job by Ward. And, the big thing that I loved about this game, Jared, is the guys coming off the bench and practice squad making plays. Chad Thomas, he played a great game. You saw his impact in the game. Brian Cox Jr. was making plays. And this guy, Porter Justin, we all never heard of, makes a sack coming off the practice squad. I really thought, Jared, this defense deserved more credit than what it's getting in this game, because guys coming off the street like Porter, guys coming off the bench like Chad Thomas and Brian Cox did a nice job in this game.
2 things here. We're late in the season, Andy. Fresh legs and hungry young talent looking to get on the field. That's a mix of good things, as long as they're disciplined with the pre-snap penalties at the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
And they were for the most part. And that's the key to that. Stay patient, stay focused, be hungry, and use those fresh legs, but no pre-snap penalties. If they can do that, I didn't have that much of a loss in faith in the defense. I was curious to see how things would play out. I liked what I saw in Miami. They need to continue it. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Vernon at this point, but we're going to get Ogunjobi back. That's going to make things a little bit easier in regard to Pittsburgh. So I still feel comfortable, especially because the other thing that sets it off is the play of Mack Wilson and especially Joe Schobert. And for the most part, that secondary really has eased up my worry with that defensive line.
Here's 2 things I got. Richardson also played a good game. Sheldon he's had a good year. That was a good free agent signing.
Yeah,
the good job.
And he's a solid guy in the locker room.
Yeah, too. He's done a nice job. The only negative I've got, and I am, it's a rookie, so you keep that in mind, but Greedy Williams is having a hard time still.
Yep.
Now, he made a couple plays in this game, but he's also still getting burned, and you can tell it's starting to get to him. I know the razor thinness, and because of what Wilkes does, Greedy's going to be out there. There's nothing you can do. He's going to be playing a lot of big plays. I do think that's something you should keep your eye on. The other big thing in this game, and I know the Dolphins stink, but the Browns suffocated the running game for the Dolphins, and that set the whole tone. It forced Fitzpatrick to pass. Yes, they scored some points, but the Browns have to carry that over to the Steeler game. Not going to be as easy, even without Connor, which looks like Connor's not going to be playing. They're going to have to do that again. The Browns taking away the running game, Jared, really, it just shut down the Dolphins, and you could tell they became one-dimensional from play one. They just never – they had a couple plays here and there where they ran for yardage, but that was it. It was very, very limited. Browns did a great job, and that really set the tone for this game. I do think, though, going forward, I don't know what the Steeler game is my litmus test. I think Vernon coming back is important. I do think they need him to come back. Rotating guys in and out against the Dolphins, I think he can get away with. It's going to be a big challenge if they don't have Vernon. Doesn't mean that they're going to lose because of it, but I think Vernon not being there, it's going to be an eyesore at times. I think they're going to miss him in this game. I do. I think Vernon playing is important. Not everything is important.
Yeah, well, and then we got to touch on this real quick too. Special teams. No, when you don't notice Hilliard, that's a good day.
Hilliard made some good plays. There's a punt that he got. Normally he would let it go. He caught it and advanced the ball. That was great to see. Hilliard also made another good play. Hilliard had his first good games of Brown. He did a nice job catching the ball.
I'll take that. And then the other thing is Austin Seibert making kicks. He was in a little bit of a funk.
I brought that up. I'm sorry. It's a problem. We kick in Cleveland. And if he can't kick in one of our end zones, it's a problem. People are making way too light of this. This is not good. It's not. I'm telling you. I'm warning you right now. It's not good. You meaning we can't kick field goals and for 50% of the game because he can't make it in a dog pound?
He needs to spend extra time in a dog pound.
Figure it out.
The swirl of wind or whatever it is.
Figure it out.
Him up down there. He has to.
Figure it out. Okay.
He has to.
The nitpicks. We already hit one. Chubb coming out of the game again. If you rewatch the game at the beginning of the fourth quarter in that drive, he comes out for 6 plays. That can't happen. The Browns are still having clock management and bad timeouts being used. They had one in the first quarter again. Wasn't as terrible as the game was a blowout, but again, late in the game, run the ball. Trick plays, screen passes behind the line of scrimmage are still a problem. There are two things: penalties, trick plays, and screen passes behind the line of scrimmage. We are not good at, folks. We have not done it once well all year. Bubble screens will call them, okay? They're not going well. I don't understand why we keep going to it. I don't understand. I don't get it.
I don't mean to interrupt. I don't know if this is breaking news or not, or how. Well, I don't know. I got to look at this. The Browns have released defensive tackle Devarro Lawrence. Did you see that?
Nope. I'm going to look it up now as we go. And
that is coming up right now in my Twitter feed. Apparently, it came out 30 minutes ago, so closer to 11:30, 11:40. The Cleveland Browns apparently have released defensive tackle Devarro Lawrence. Their statement is they've waived him. No corresponding move is needed as defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi has returned from his 1-game suspension. Lawrence appeared in all 11 games this season with 2 starts. He recorded 8 tackles, 1 interception, and 1 fumble recovery. Well, that's a strange time to make a move like that on a defensive line that is thin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much
discipline
right now.
issue, I'm guessing.
I would guess. The other thing I got for Lawrence, I did not think he made an impact on the game, so I'm not going to be devastated by it. Again, I thought that was one of those players that were overrated by some. I thought he was a nice player. I didn't think he was. I'm not going to read too much into it, honestly. I know.
No, I think it's just more of a spotlight on those positions.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, Richardson and Ogunjobi aren't coming out much. If we're being honest, they're not coming out much anymore. No. They need to play almost every play. I mean, they really do from here on out. So it stinks. If it's a defensive end, my eyebrows would have gone up. But a defensive tackle, Richardson and Ogunjobi are playing a lot. So I don't really have too much of a problem with that stuff. He was a backup, so I'm not gonna wring my hands too much over it. I actually think Jared Avery's still the guy. I would love that back, but I'm not gonna go down that road today. I did my listen to it on the previous podcast. Okay, so the big thing too after this game. So that's the nitpicky stuff. We kind of hit all that stuff. The big thing that I liked and I saw quickly was Pittsburgh on the Steeler game, like moving quickly past what happened on Sunday's win, which I thought was a good sign. I do think this team is mentally ready to go. For people who haven't seen it, Sheldon Richardson had a great comment after the game. I really don't care.
Yeah, and there's a lot of folks that are kind of angry with the way that certain media members went into the locker room not talking, leading with the issue of Mason Rudolph being benched. There were players that were kind of annoyed by that. I don't know. I know on Twitter people were kind of complaining about, what are you even bringing that up for as soon as you come in? I don't know how I feel either way.
Wait a minute. What do we want to break down the Dolphins game? What do you want to break down? Our favorite touchdown?
Right. You did what you were supposed to do.
Come on.
Thank you. You played like you were supposed to. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
People have got to take
I raised this as an issue.
Got to take a breath. The Dolphins game was expected. Did anything surprising happen in the Dolphins game? I know Jared's on the run and so am I this week, but truthfully, this wasn't going to be a long podcast. What is there to really break down of the Dolphins game? Was anything a surprise?
Well, no, I didn't even get a chance to really watch the game. I just kept up with it.
Yeah.
I put it off to the side because I figured, well, they have to do what they have to do, and if they don't, well, then I don't want to see it anyway.
Yeah,
So that's how that went.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Period. End of sentence. They have the right to ask that, and that's a big part of the story. Because while we were gone last week, Myles Garrett's suspension was upheld. It's an indefinite suspension. He is now gone for the rest of the year. It's official now. He's going to go back to the commissioner in 2020 to get – sounds like he will be reinstated, but it's all formality now. He is gone for the rest of the year. What also came out on Thursday was that there was an apparent racial slur set.
Bullshit.
Right. It was a racial slur set against Garrett coming from Mason Rudolph's mouth. I don't think it's serendipitous that Rudolph's lawyer team had a statement ready to go very quickly after it came out.
I don't think it. I don't think it's. I think that I'm going to go ahead and read into the way that the NFL quickly said that they didn't have audio.
Yeah,
I'm not Mr. Conspiracy Theorist, but I also am not dumb.
Ready? I watch a conspiracize here. That's a word. I thought the Browns got screwed, and I really feel bad for Myles Garrett. Because Myles Garrett...
Because the NFL played on the emotion of the situation. Had they waited through the weekend and made their decision on Monday as opposed to Thursday, this would have been a four-game suspension. This would not have been indefinite. Indefinite, even just using that word, it feels like it came straight from emotion. Straight from emotion. In the moment, we are protecting the shield. There's too much negative media going on. He used a helmet as a weapon. Look, I know it was bad. It was bad.
No.
Thank God he didn't connect.
Right.
But it wasn't indefinite suspension bad. And oh, by the way, getting kicked in the nuts. Let's leave off even the racial comment that Mason Rudolph probably made. Pittsburgh quarterbacks have a history of making certain being accused of. I'll leave it there. Let's leave that off. You kick me in the nuts, I'm hitting you with a helmet. Anyone disagree? Anyone?
Well, the bigger thing.
Me in the nuts, I'll hit you with your helmet. It's happening.
Right. The bigger thing here is Garrett tried to do the right thing by taking us through the NFL process, and he got burned by it. Myles Garrett was wrong. Yeah,
and they threw that info out there that he never meant to be public either.
No, he said it. I feel horrible for Myles Garrett. It's a bad look. They're never going to bring up – these tapes will come out at some point. It probably won't be this year, but it'll be down the road. Some documentarian like myself or someone else will be digging him up. I'll be honest with you. I think it's a bad look. Look, we'll never know the truth right now in this season. I would love to hear those tapes. There are tapes. Look, there are tapes. There are tapes out there. Someone's got a microphone on it. You can hear it for yourself. So until then, it's all speculation, but I felt bad for Myles Garrett. He did the right thing, and he got clobbered for it. It was good to see D. Haslam wear the hat before the game. Here's my one word to the Haslams, and I don't know for sure. I hope they made a call to Goodell saying, look, stop. Look, this has got to stop. Like Myles Garrett's our player, and someone needs to defend him. Whether it's Dorsey, whether it's the Haslams, I would like for someone in the Browns to make a public statement. I like the hat. I thought that was good. I would like to see a public statement being made on behalf.
Because you can't deny the fact that Myles Garrett is a good dude. At the end of the day, the guy is right now, as we speak, volunteering his time with, I believe, meals. Handing out meals or doing some sort of charity work at this very moment of recording, of live feed. That's what Myles is doing in his spare time.
No, he's doing it right. Look, he's not. Even if he wasn't doing that, Jared, it wasn't right what happened to Myles Garrett. What happened to Myles Garrett was wrong. And I don't like it.
He got railroaded. And again, this is both can be right. Hitting someone with a helmet can be the wrong thing.
No. Look.
So we've had this discussion.
We've had discussion. Just real quickly. Do I think it's bad that he's suspended for the year? I actually don't. You can't do what he did. I'm sorry. You can't do what he did. But if this also happened, it needs to come out and be flushed out. Okay, so the big thing, this all leads up to this game, over $800,000 in fines by the league on both teams. Looks like it's a very questionable decision here of who's going to start, whether it's Hodge or whether it's Rudolph. People can make a debate whether that's even notable or not. I don't know. They're definitely a one-dimensional team. Connor sounds like he's not going to be playing again. No Pouncey. Schuster will be back, so it sounds like he'll be a go on Sunday. As for the Browns, I would say Njoku, no matter what comes out this week, will be a game-time decision.
Oh, yeah.
I think David Njoku, one way or the other, is a game-time decision. Ogunjobi's back. I say Vernon. If I had a gun to my head, I don't think he plays. I don't know why.
No, I don't either. I
don't think he's going to be playing in this game. Look, it's the rivalry. It's all field. We kind of relived all this Myles Garrett stuff. There's a lot going into this game. I am now ready to say this. This is the swing game. I think if the Browns win this game, I think they continue to roll, and I could see the wins start piling up even more going into the Ravens game. The Ravens game is different. We're gonna get to that in a second. But everything, Ravens game is different. But everything's getting into that. I feel good about this game. I feel good about how the team's progressing each week. I do think this is going to be a hard game to win. I think the Browns have enough. They make enough plays. I think they scratch out a win by 3 or 6 points. They figure it out on the road at Heinz 57 Field, and they do enough to get the win and beat Pitt and sweep the series. And I think they'll make enough plays in this game. And I actually think it would not be surprised if this Browns defense makes a play late to keep the game in bay. I think the Browns win a close game. I think they keep it close, 2017, something like that.
35-10. Browns go big early and
we're taking the Ketchup
no looking back
to Cleveland. 57.
On top of that, they might even score. They might put up another 40 spot. I just know it's not even going to be close. It's going to be Pittsburgh fans coming into that stadium looking for blood and walking out very early. I think their tails between their legs. I'm telling you, I'm calling right now.
Am I wrong to say that this game's everything? Like, I think if the Browns win, I think it continues up until the Ravens game. I think the Ravens game is very different. But I think it continues to roll. And the opposite is true. I think the Browns lose this game. I think the wheels might come off a little bit. I really do.
They're not going to. Not even.
I don't think they are either. By the way, I think they're not going to win. I do. I said this in the last podcast. I like how the schedule breaks out. Yep. A couple other things real quickly. Yep. I loved how this weekend really broke out for the Browns. The Raiders losing to the Jets was a big win for the Browns. That helps them out. That brought the Raiders back down. The Raiders are not going to get the 10 wins now, in my opinion. The other big game is on Thursday, Turkey Day. It would be great to see the Cowboys beat the Bills. The Bills have a far harder schedule down the stretch. If the Bills win this game, I think they get to 11 wins. I think if they lose to the Cowboys, I think they get to 10, and the Browns beat them head-to-head, as we all know. So that gives the head-to-head to the Browns. Big game on Turkey Day is the Bills-Cowboys for us. It's a big game. Need the Cowboys to win.
Hey, big just game. Want to jump in with a fan comment and ask you this. You think this is too much? You think the Browns, or do you think that they'll have National Guard at Heinz Field for added security?
Here's what I would warn. Because I was thinking about going to the game. I would advise Browns fans, if you go, cheer lightly. You're in enemy territory. You cheer lightly.
No, grab your Pittsburgh started it shirt, throw it on, head on over to Heinz Field.
All right. I just be careful. Emotions are going to be high. Listen,
I was there with, I know how they act even when emotions aren't high. I was at the Tim Couch. Didn't Tim who had to come back in and win that game? The 35, it was Tim Couch on that. Was that a Sunday night game?
I don't remember.
35-17, they dominated. It was a Sunday night game, almost positive. Years ago, Tim Couch came in to start that game, even though he wasn't the starter anymore for the Browns at that point. And those fans were awful.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, Look. Here's all I'm going to say.
And all I wore was a Browns hat, and it got ripped off my head and thrown down the stadium and stomped on.
I've been mocked at a World Series game by the Cubs fans. I've been mocked at by I know people don't want to hear this. I've been really treated rudely by Buckeye fans at a couple games when I was wearing Purdue gear.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. No big deal.
I don't like that.
No, it's okay. I've been called very, very harsh terms. But anyways, it's all good. Look, here's the thing. At the end of the day. This game, even if it was reversed, would be very emotional for us too, okay? Be careful going into Pittsburgh. I'll leave it at that, okay? You're going to enemy territory. I would advise not to go, be my opinion. All that to be said, big game is Bills-Cowboys. You need the Bills to lose that game.
Yep.
And the way things are breaking out, actually, the Browns in the wild card is making more and more.
And the Cowboys need to win that game. So
they do. It's a
possible game. Yeah.
If the Bills win that game, I think they get to 11 wins, is my point. They'll be 9, and I think they split the last 2. If they lose, I think that gets them only to 10 wins, and I think the Browns will be head-to-head with them at 10 wins. So I think that breaks out right for the Browns. So that's the big game to watch. Okay, real quickly, I have to say it. What the Ravens are doing right now is really fucking scary. They are on a roll right now. They deserve all the accolades. What they did to the Rams, what they did to the Texans, they are smoking hot. They are rolling through, and I actually am going to say this. I wouldn't mind if the Ravens just keep winning because I want them to get fat going into the Browns game. At this point, let them keep winning. Just keep going.
At this point, it doesn't matter. I got you. They're going to win the division.
They are going to win the division.
Yes. Andy, this was the thought that ran through my mind, and it's been going through my mind a little bit throughout the season as it's progressed and watching how the Ravens have really turned this into something. And it's childish. It's absolutely childish, 100% childish. I'm being a big baby fan when I say this. I was so fired up when LeBron came back to the Cavs. I was ready. Cleveland is finally going to get theirs. We are going to get the respect we deserve. We are going to win everything. We are going to win 3 championships. We are going to roll with this. Oh, great. The Warriors. They're a thing.
Yep.
What timing? What absolute shit timing. It's our turn to win. It's our turn to win, damn it. Yep. Right? That's how I felt. Yep. Let down, bummed out. That's what it was for me. Now I look at this Browns team and how I felt before we started the season. It's our turn to win. It's our turn to take over the North. Sure. It's our turn. Sure. Oh, look. That quarterback that I thought was going to be shit.
He's playing.
Turns out he's better than everyone else in the league right now.
He is playing on a different – he's the MVP. Folks,
unfair. I am so bitter.
Well, it's going to make the Browns better. It is going to make the Browns better. I'm a believer in this. You got to have good competition to bring your competition up. Look, the Arizona game is an iffy game.
Can anything be easy in life?
No, it doesn't have to be in Cleveland. Look, by the way, the Chiefs are good. The Patriots are good. You know, the Browns are going to have to do a march through. By the way, the Browns make the playoffs.
It feels like the Raven, like you thought that the North was ripe for the taking. And
well,
lo and behold,
here we are. Look, and by the way, and this is for us too, there are 5 games left to play. And as we all know, injuries happen in this league quick. So there's a long road to go. And Lamar Jackson does use his legs and is a runner first.
I know.
So let's keep that in mind.
He's really testing. I mean, he's testing past.
Look,
testing the rules of the past is what
right now. He is on a different level. He is playing like the quarterback he played like at Louisville. He is just running fast. He runs confidently. And I'll be honest with you, the Rams are lucky it wasn't 50.
Did you? And you know what else stood out to me too? And I don't know what you can read into this, but he's a month younger than Joe Burrow.
I know.
Isn't that insane to even think about?
No, it's one more time now. If the Browns keep winning, and again, the Arizona game's iffy. That is a tricky game. They could lose that game easily. But all that to be said, let's say they beat the Steelers, they beat the Kitty Cats, they make it to Arizona, and they get past the desert. That Ravens game and against the Browns will have so much juice, so much emotion, and the Ravens will be heavy favorites, as they should. The way they are playing right now, they are on a different level. Keep your eye on it. They are now the favorite team by the ESPN FPI rankings to win the Super Bowl. I don't think that's unfair. And honestly, right now, like Joe Burrow for LSU, it is Lamar Jackson MVP for the Ravens. It's on its way. The only other thing I took note of in this week, the Bengals are on their way to going over, okay? The Browns have them twice. I watched a little bit of the Steelers-Bengals game. The Bengals are really, really, really bad. There should be no reason why we should have any. It's the Dolphins 2.0 and 3.0. There should be no problem with those games. Bengals are really bad. Okay. Really bad. Bad. All right, let's transition quickly because I know Jared's got to run. By the way, I'm just going to do this live. How much time do you need? 10? 15? When do you have to jolt?
Like, as soon as we can. We can wrap this.
Buckeyes had a great win. They did what they needed to do against Penn State. Justin Fields has taken too many hits. Okay, I'm going to say this about the Buckeyes. I'm not a Buckeye fan. Dobbins needs to be carrying the ball more. Chase Young is on a different level. He is the best player in college football. He's not going to win the Heisman, but he is the best player in college football. I think this week the Michigan Wolverines will give him a good test. I think Harbaugh will have his team ready to play. I don't think they're going to win the game, but I think they're going to give Ohio State everything they have and more. Don't be surprised this game is in a knuckler towards the end of the game. I don't know what the point spread is, but I would take the Wolverines and the points. I'm sure they're heavy underdogs. I think they're going to be up for this game. I think they're going to give them a hell of a game. I love this game this week. I love as an outside observer. I have no dog in this fight. I will be all over it. It is a big game. And again, I did this rant last year, so you can go back and listen to it. So I'll do it more next week. This is a big game for Jim Harbaugh's career. He needs this game. Michigan needs to start winning these games to get back to where they are. Let's see if they can do it on Saturday.
Quick points, and I'll finish it up real quick with this side. There's literally 3 guys on the Ohio State Buckeyes team that could end up with Heisman votes. That's huge in itself. Ryan Day will not allow them to lose focus. Where I do worry is I had to pay closer attention to that Penn State game than I really thought I would have to. And what I noticed was Fields had issues throwing the ball sometimes. It wasn't as clean a game as I was hoping for offensively. But that's okay. We're getting word that Team Up North's getting 9 points. Thanks, Doug, for that update. So there you go. 9 points.
9 points. I would take the Wolverines and the points. All right, quickly to the Cavs.
No. Ohio State again putting up probably a 40,
by the way, does
40 spot, and Wolverines might end up getting 20, right. But I still think it's not a big fallout.
I do in the next podcast want to do a big thing on the Buckeyes in the Wolverine game. Okay, real quickly, does anybody care about the Iron Bowl? I know I do, but does anybody? I mean, again, I don't have a dog in the fight. Does anybody care about the Iron Bowl this year?
No.
I feel no buzz about that game, which I find interesting. Okay, quickly on the Cavs.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
They stopped a losing streak. They had a good win against the Blazers. Clarkson's playing much better. They're still way too small. I thought the Nets loss was the first time this year they had a bad loss. They came back in that game late. They were down big, came back, had a nice run to tie the game late. They had multiple opportunities with the ball with under 30 seconds to take the lead. They couldn't do it. Sexton couldn't get a shot off. Clarkson tried to get some shots off. Really never got close. You know, Kyrie didn't play in this game. You got to win those games against the Nets. I would love to see them win that game. We'll get into Kyrie on a different day.
Tristan play? I don't think.
Yes, Tristan did play.
Did Kevin play?
No.
That's what it was.
No.
Okay.
No, love. The bigger thing with the Cavs I'm noticing that I'm going to start eyeballing quickly in this game that came out, I love Sexton. I think Sexton, he's got to play smarter in these bigger spots. And he's still having a hard time with that. Hey, if you're double teamed or you're getting pressured, pass the ball. Make a pass. You don't have to Michael Jordan everything in this league. That's the one little nitpick I'm seeing from Sexton. There's certain moments in certain spots he's got to learn how to pass or put the ball off.
All right. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Cleveland and Beyond, on Twitter @CLE and Beyond. Shoot us an email, Andy and Jared @gmail.com, Jared, Jarid. We are part of Waiting for Next Year. Check them out, original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Kyrie won't have his number retired by the Cavs because he won't ever show up to Cleveland ever again for some reason.
We'll talk about that different podcast. I won't even start because I have a big opinion about it. I want to wish everybody a happy Turkey Day. I think this is a great week for football. Again, watch the Bills game. That's important. We talked about the Michigan Buckeye game. And again, Pittsburgh and Cleveland, great rivalry. It's been reborn. We talked about all the juice this week. I do think this is finally the swing game. This is the game. If the Browns win, I think they roll to the Ravens game. And I think if they lose, I think the wheels come off a little bit. So it's a big game. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there.
Pittsburgh started it. He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson. Andy and Jared. Cleveland and Beyond. Also, I love canned cranberry sauce. Take care.
Mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm very simple. Turkey, mash shit onto a plate. I love lots of shit on.
Oh, I like the slop.
I do too. Like I'm a pig. Like lots of crap on a plate. I love lots of crap on plates.
Take care.
Boiler up. Big game. Oka bucket.